What's going on, everyone? So the Phoenix Suns have officially pulled off a trade for a center in Nick Richards. The Charlotte Hornets have sent Nick Richards to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Joshua Okogie, as well as a 3 second-round picks. But they are getting the Phoenix Suns, that is, Nick Richards along with another second. So technically, if you want to look at it that way, it's 2 seconds that the Suns are losing in the deal, along with Okogie, who makes some sense. Now, there were several other teams, my Lakers included, that were interested in Nick Richards. Okogie actually makes sense for the Charlotte Hornets, right? He's a guy that you could play and kind of have another piece, but also he's a guy that, given his two-way capabilities, you probably could get some other assets for. Like, you might be able to get another second or two for an Okogie from the right team in the right situation. So instead of turning like Nick Richards into just like 2 seconds, maybe you're turning Nick Richards into, in the end, 3 or 4 seconds, right? By looking to move Okogie. So I wouldn't be shocked if Okogie ends up getting rerouted at some point coming up to one of these contending teams or a team that just has some interest in him. Otherwise, the Charlotte Hornets could easily keep him. He's a guy, although could kind of have questions with some log jams, but they have Cody Martin, who's available. They also have Josh Green, who supposedly can be had and is available. So maybe they're looking at Okogie as like insurance in case they end up trading those guys, kind of give you that guy that can come in, slot in, and play. I'm really curious of what this means for Nurk now, right? Like Yusuf Nurkic, he's already kind of the odd man out. And there was a lot of talk about Nurk being in the trade for Nick Richards plus another piece. Like that was what was originally reported, was that they would land Nick Richards for Nurk and then they get Richards and another piece. Grant Williams was somebody that was thrown around, but he's expected to be out for the season. So is that something more that didn't make sense for the Suns? Although you could argue he would have been a nice piece, if when he gets back, whenever he gets back, right? But nonetheless, you ended up having the Okogie swap. So my guess is be on the lookout for a Phoenix Suns trade because they got to do something with Nurk, right? Because now you have Nick Richards, who we'll talk about his fit and how good he is right now. And you're talking about Plumlee and then Nurk, right? So, they got to figure that out. So, and Nurk is the highest contract you have, but they're incredibly limited on assets. So do they have something else worked out? Do they already have something down the pipeline that they kind of have an idea for? Is there a team that would even take Nurk? Like how many teams need a center, right? Like it's a tough spot for the Suns to be in, but I do think that they're going to try to pull something off. Right? Do you really want a guy making, $18 million, whatever it is, just sitting on your bench? Probably not, right? Like, so I expect something to get done. But as far as Nick Richards and his fit on the Suns, I even said this on my Lakers channel that actually, like, obviously, I wanted Nick Richards. Many Laker fans wanted Nick Richards. I thought Nick Richards would have been good for the Lakers. However, I think he'll be great for the Suns because he's exactly what they need. And, basically just being that rebounder, put back guy, floor running guy, right? Like they needed a guy in a Nick Richards more than they needed like a Nurk. Like I even talked about instead of trading for Nurk, and I've said this dating back to last season, instead of Nurk, they needed somebody like a Clint Capella. Right? Somebody that could just slot in, just rebound, and get putbacks and just be that lob threat, be that floor runner for you, right? You just need a dirty work center. And Nick Richards can provide that for the Phoenix Suns. They didn't need some, 18 and 10 center that's just like, no, like it didn't make sense, especially Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. They needed a center that can just kind of plug in and do the dirty work and doesn't need the ball and doesn't need to, he's complementary towards your stars. Nick Richards is just much more complementary. Why did Mason Plumlee make more sense right now? Because he's much more complementary. He's a guy that doesn't need the ball. He's willing to just run the floor, rebound, do the dirty work. Well, now you got a guy in Nick Richards that can help that. Where, a team like my Lakers, once you get to the playoffs, Anthony Davis is probably playing 40 minutes a game, right? So Nick Richards is probably only playing 8 minutes a game. And also that, like, I from a Lakers standpoint, I'd prefer Day'Ron Sharpe, and I've always kind of maintained that because he's just younger. But Nick Richards is a true 7-footer. That's the difference. But also, it's just the role in which Nick Richards would have played on the Lakers compared to a team like the Phoenix Suns, right? So a team like the Phoenix Suns, I think Nick Richards will get more opportunity. He'll be more of a contributor. I think he'll get more minutes. He'll play a bigger role because they need a guy like him, right? Where on the Lakers, he's probably never going to be anything more than a backup. On a team like the Hornets, they prefer Mark Williams, right? So he's kind of the odd man out in any of those situations. But with the Phoenix Suns, he's probably your starter. He's probably the guy you're starting with. Maybe not right away, maybe not right out the gate as you try to get him acclimated and put in. But, I mean, I also think it's fine. Just throw him out there and let him be your starter. Have Mason Plumlee be your backup. And then now you got, Jusuf Nurkic as, like, your piece that you're looking to move and trade. Right? Like, that's kind of the direction I would go if I was the Phoenix Suns. But that's the question. Can they even trade him? Right? Can they even trade Nurk? Like, what team is lining up to take Nurk? Right? Like, that's why that's why when the reports to, like, the Hornets, it was like, okay, like, maybe the Hornets will be the team that saves them. But didn't. So now it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think that if they can, they need to turn him into, like, perimeter defenders, right? Even if it's not, like, legit two-way guys, right? Even if it's just, like, it's not, like, 3-and-D guys, even if it's just, like, defensive guys, like guys that are really good defensively but, like, struggle offensively. Because, again, you have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. They need dirty work guys. They need guys that can just do the hustle plays, do the dirty work, lock down and defend, while Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal are out there just cooking and doing their thing on the offensive side of things. Between those three guys, you have enough offensive firepower. You just need the dirty work guys that can trickle in whatever they're trickling in. Now, obviously, ideally, you'd like some guys that can hit some threes, but I'm talking about what's realistic for, a Jusuf Nurkic, right? Like, for him, you're probably not getting a KCP, right? You're probably looking at getting guys that are probably, better. It's like, okay, you're probably getting more one-way guys. Well, they don't need the offense. They need the defense and the dirty work guys. So they can get guys with size that are just good defensively rather than, getting a guy that's like, oh, great offensively, but poor or average defensively. Like, they need size and dirty work guys and hustle play guys and defensive guys. You have enough offense with your main guys, right? So I think that this Nick Richards pickup was great for them. Like, genuinely, I think that this was a really good pickup for the Phoenix Suns. I think that this is going to go a long way for them and really kind of help what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish. I think that they're a little too far behind the 8 ball, and I don't think Nick Richards now is a cure-all. And now that's it. Phoenix is back, baby. Like, I don't think it's anything like that. Phoenix still has their problems stretch beyond just like a comparable center, right? But I do think that this was a great move and a great step in the right direction for a guy that's cheap, $5 million this year, $5 million next year. So you also have him next year to kind of figure out and work out. I just think it's a much better situation for all parties involved, right? The Phoenix Suns, I do think, got slightly better. I do think that, Nick Richards is going to get more opportunity there than he would anywhere else. I think just collectively, it's a real win-win for all parties involved. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Disagree with my points? Kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.